Hey everyone, and welcome to today's Program Yourself Thin podcast. I'm back from vacation, and today I want to talk to you about why I'm not worried that I gained 7 pounds so far. So, the first thing, let me explain the so far. The so far is because I've been eating a lot during the holidays, eating more than normal during the holidays, and I went on vacation for a week. I know that my weight lags. So I know that I eat more and my weight will keep going up, and then I'll eat less and it'll take a little while. Then my weight will start going back down. So the so far is my weight might go up to 10 pounds up. I might start eating better now, living healthier, doing all the right things that keep me at my goal weight. And my weight may still go up for a couple days, maybe a week, maybe 2 weeks, who knows? But I'm not worried about it. Why am I not worried about it? Because when I think about my weight, I'm not thinking that now I have to stop doing a bunch of things. Hear this, because this is really important. I'm not thinking to myself that I need to stop eating ice cream or drinking beer or eating pizza. My goal and my focus is not on what I have to stop doing to lose the weight, return back to my goal weight. It's what I need to start doing. And that is the biggest difference I can share with you, is that I have spent years, decades creating a lifestyle and an eating plan that keeps me at my goal weight. And I know for the last 3 weeks, I have not been following that, which was fine. I was fine with that. And now what I'm going to do is get back to living the way that I always did. But notice that focus. It's not on all the things I have to stop doing. This makes all the difference in the world, because when we focus on things we have to stop doing, it overwhelms our brain. When I think of all the bad things, oh, I got to stop this, I got this, it feels like every single moment I'm fighting against my cravings. Every single moment I'm fighting against all the bad ideas I have. But that's not what I'm doing. And that's why I'm not worried. Because what I will do is I will start going to sleep at the times that succeed, that allow me to successfully live at my goal weight. I will drink the water that allows me to successfully live at my goal weight. I will eat the foods, the breakfast, the lunches, the dinners. I will do the yoga, the meditation, the breathing exercises, the movement strategies. I will meditate more deeply. I will do all these things, and I know my weight will go right back to where it always is, other than really this holiday time and maybe vacation here and there where it goes up a little bit. And I want to compare this to your approach. And I know you've all done this before, where you start the new year. And what are you going to do? Well, you're going to change everything. You're going to completely stop doing everything bad. And it becomes overwhelming. My approach is not overwhelming. My approach is very, very systematic of things that I'm going to start including and things I'm going to start tightening up in terms of eating, in terms of living, in terms of how I'm thinking and what I'm doing. And that will bring me comfortably right back to my goal weight before I even know it. But the most important piece of the whole puzzle is my mindset. Because I'm approaching it this way, there is no worry. There is no fear. There is no freaking out. There is no overreactions. I calmly go back systematically to where I was. And so the whole process I understand in my mind, and I feel comfortable with it, because the way I see it is a month from now, 2 months from now, I'll be right back at my goal weight, and I will be right back into my lifestyle, my eating patterns. And because that's what I expect, the whole thing seems easier to me. I'm way more comfortable with the whole process. So I hope that this helps you out, because weight gain is part of weight mastery. No one pretty much lives at a completely consistent weight all the time, because life's not consistent. You go on vacations, you have holidays, you have times you get depressed, times you get stressed, all sorts of different situations show up that most likely are going to affect your eating. And so your weight at certain times in your life is going to fluctuate. Not a big deal. You need to have strategies how you're going to deal with it, though. And so I want to share mine with you, so that hopefully this will help you. If you have some weight to lose, don't just focus on things you have to stop doing. Start focusing on the things you have to do to live at your goal weight. So I hope this helps you out. Yes. What's up, Jody? How's it going? Yes. I know. I'm back. Vacation was awesome. Super happy to be back. Yeah, love to be back. It's funny. I did a call this morning. It was kind of an emergency call. And a second. Yeah, I did an emergency call this morning with a client, which was awesome. It was so it's fun to be back, and that's what I say to my kids. I'm like, you're on the right path in life when you are excited to go home from Disney. when you're excited to go home, when you're excited to start working, I think you're on the right path in life. So I'm very thankful for that. I had a wonderful time, but it's nice to be back with all you good people. And yeah, here we are. So I hope, I'm really excited too. I got so much fun stuff planned. I'm excited. What's up, Katie? How's it going? Yep. Feels good. Feels good to be back. Even though I started this stream and I had it all screwed up. So I had to stop it and restart it, but none of you probably know about that. What's up, Tabitha? How's it going? Yes. So it was, what was I saying? Sunny. Yeah. Happy 2025. I know for me, like, I don't even feel for me, cause I went away. The new year kind of for me starts Monday. That's when I'll really, right now I'm still in recovery mode. And I will, next week is my reentry week. We've been talking about that in the program. But yeah, for this weekend is really recovery week. Cause holy crap, Disney, I don't even know if I'd call it a vacation. It was the funnest time of my life, but oh my God, it is, it's like a job to go in there. It's crazy, but anyways, it's a good job. I'm not complaining. Sun 1A says, correct. I've been battling with what I shouldn't do the last week and haven't been successful with that way of thinking. Yes, exactly. That's why I wanted to come in with that. Okay. Because it's the fundamental difference between being a dieter or being a weight master. And it's the focus on what you're going to do. There's nothing in your life you're really going to thrive at when your main focus is what you have to stop doing. Again, it's an anti mindset, if that makes any sense to you. It's not the mindset that's going to get you what you want. And so we have to focus on what we have to do. And that's how your brain operates. I always give the example to put this in a different perspective or context. It's like if I gave you directions by saying, oh, don't go backwards, then don't go left. Okay. Then don't go straight for a little while and then don't go right. Don't go right again. And then go not backwards. Right. So it's like your brain's like, what? It overwhelms your brain. And dieting to some degree, it feels like that because dieting's always focused on what you're not going to do. It's anti-language and it's very confusing to your mind. And so when you start talking about what you want to do, it's much more comforting to your brain. And so for me, it's not that. Now, don't get me wrong. I mean, there's still pieces of things I will stop doing. I will not. I'll stop drinking beer again. I let myself drink. Get a couple beers over the holidays. I will stop doing that. I will stop eating. Extra chocolates. I will stop. Doing certain things. That's a piece of it, but it's just a piece. The primary focus for me is what I'm going to start doing, and I'll tell you what it starts with. It starts with water. It starts with my water because it was a week of drinking water that is not up to my standards. So I didn't drink very much water. And man, but again, I utilize that. So I utilize the week of not drinking water to appreciate it more. And when I get my sweet water back with my bottle and my home water, I'm so happy. And so I really relish that experience because it just reinforces how much I love water. And so that'll get my water consumption back up. My sleep will go back up. All the stuff will go back up. And then my eating will be easier to manage. And of course, when I'm eating, it's all about getting back to my breakfast, my normal breakfast, getting back to my salads, which I cannot wait for Monday. I cannot wait for the salads. I should say I can wait because I'm going to wait, so I can. But I'm very excited about Monday kicking off and just kind of kicking back to my normal routine. Super excited about that. So yeah, so it's all about what you're going to do, as opposed to what you're not going to do. That's the key. Oh, but yeah, I hope you all had a nice start to the year. And that's kind of interesting too. I will tell you that's the other thing too, being away this vacation. I got to say, this is a week I've not thought about work at all. And that's pretty rare for me. But it's nice to be back because I love thinking about work. But it's funny because I know it's the new year. So I'm curious to find out where everyone's at, especially dieters. I know where the people in the program are at. And we're going to get right back on track with everything. And the good news is I tested a bunch of things out ahead of my vacation to see if they were working. So the good news is if you're in the program, if you're in the app is now delivering every morning properly. It's delivering the messages to you. So if you're in the app and you want to start getting the messages, just shoot me an email or message me right in the app and I can get that started for you. So that's working now properly. And that's really cool. And then, like I said, each and every week, there's kind of new and cool stuff coming for a little while here. But those of you outside of the program, I do wonder where you're all at. Cause I know the new year is now, 10 days in. And I know there's a lot of people that on Monday, right? Cause first it's like, I'm not gonna start my diet on a Wednesday, right? So I'll start Monday, but then Monday comes and now it's not the first. So a lot of that energy is kind of faded away and you got the hangover of the holidays. And so this week you probably intended to start and you probably didn't or didn't stick with it. And now here we are, another weekend. And so, it's all good and bad. I like to hop on every opportunity I can. So if you can hop on the January 1st momentum, awesome. You know what I mean? Knock yourself out. But if that didn't work, it comes and goes and you let it go and realize that every moment is an opportunity for a fresh start, every single moment. And so whatever that may be. Now those moments are usually Monday. That's fair. That's fine. But again, don't give up. Don't let yourself stop just because you may have a bad week or you didn't stick with it. It's about restarting on the next Monday, but starting smarter though. That's the other piece, and program yourself. Then we'll always get a little bit better. So really, really important to do that. Because even starting like my week next week, like Monday, when I refocus and get restarted, I won't be perfect with things. And I expect that, I'm not expecting perfection. I've been off track for like 3 weeks with a lot of my eating, my lifestyle stuff. So I don't expect Monday I can just pop in 100%. That doesn't make any sense. And so I give myself a little bit of space, to screw up, to recover, to get back to normal and all the rest of it. But how are you all doing? Let me know. Where are you all at? Where are you all at with your eating, your weight loss? Do you give a shit at the new year? Have you given up on that completely? Are you just going strong? I'm always curious to know where people are at. It's funny because years are different too. I find that interesting that some years people seem to, I think it has to do with the day. I truly do. I think it seems, I'm just kind of pulling this out of the air a little bit, but it feels like if like the January 1st is on like a Monday, you know what I mean? Like that is probably the year that people seem to stick the best for a little while to it. But then, all the rest of the days, it's harder, because they're trying to wait and I don't know. It doesn't seem to work. Tab says, I went on a trip for New Year's and I've been losing a pound a day. I know it's water weight. Oh, nice. Yeah, that's great. Yeah, I will, I said, I put 7 pounds on so far. And I know that weight will come off relatively quickly. I know I said a month, 2 months. I doubt that, because, quick weight gain goes away quickly and quick weight loss goes away quickly. So, I'm not worried about that. We do seem to have, I hate the word, the set point. I'm not talking about the traditional way, but our body does seem, there's a fluctuation thing, and that fluctuation kind of comes quick and goes quick a lot of times, does for me usually. So I'll see what it is this time. Which by the way would factor in, see, that's the thing. I'm always looking at things in bigger and bigger context. So for example, I put 7 pounds on so far. Okay. In the last, like, I don't know, 3 weeks, I would say. And, so I anticipate that I will drop that relatively quickly because that's what usually will happen. But if for some reason I'm into like 6, 7, 8 weeks away and I'm still like 4 pounds up, the next year I probably wouldn't go as far off track. You see what I mean? So like I'm always adjusting what I'm doing based on what's going on here. I don't know. Maybe my metabolism will slow down and I won't be able to drop the weight as quickly, So again, but I'm always judging how my body's reacting. I'm always looking at what's going on with me and then adjusting how I move forward. So, if you're listening to me, even if you're not in the program, the more you start thinking in like a year time frame, 5-year time frame, 10-year time frame. And I know that's like such a crazy idea for people to think in terms of their weight, but the longer term you start thinking in, the better. It really does help you. But yeah, that's interesting, Tabitha. And so you should remember that when you go on a trip, like who gives a shit? This is what I'm talking about. Like there seems to be this fluctuation piece because, you can go on a trip and put 5 pounds on, but you lose it quickly. You could kind of not eat anything for a week and lose 5 pounds, and then you go back to normal, you put it on right away. So it seems like there's an initial kind of fluctuation that doesn't last, so that's how I feel about it. Professional Killers, have you read The Starch Solution? And if so, what do you think? I have not read The Starch Solution. I haven't heard of that one. Let's see. Kind of curious what it's even about. Starch Solution. There it is. Eat the foods you love, regain your health, and lose the weight for good. Well, that doesn't tell me much, but that's okay. Oh, Top Vegan. Okay, it's a vegan cookbook or vegan book, I mean. All right. Don't know the theory behind it, but it'll free you from common misunderstandings about rice, beans, potatoes, and other favorite starch foods. Okay, yeah, sure. Oh, you'll learn that fueling your body primarily with carbohydrates rather than proteins and fats, you'll feel satisfied. Well, I don't disagree with that because I'm a vegetarian, practically a vegan. So I don't disagree with that idea. Um, what I already don't love about that framing is everything's always pitting itself against everything. And I think that's where we got to stop, because any diet can work. I mean, we've seen people thrive on starchy diets. We've seen people thrive on carnivore diets for a little bit anyways. I don't know how that goes long term. We've seen people thrive on all kinds of diets. So I think that just becomes one more point. I think that you have to base what you're going to do against yourself. How do you feel on it? How do you like it? How does it work for you in your life? And I think the more you start to look at things that way, you can't help but create a one size fits one system for you that's custom built for you that gets you the results you want. So I don't like the framing, and I get it. I mean, that's how they sell books. So I'm not judging it. The information is probably great. I will read this book. It looks really interesting, and it's right up my alley, because the idea that you can't be thin eating a lot of starch and carbs is fucking goofy. Absolutely goofy, folks. Most societies on the planet throughout history have eaten tons of starch and all sorts of starchy foods, carbohydrate heavy diets, and they're thin and healthy. So it's not starch and carbohydrates, it's refined carbohydrates. That's the problem. And so again, I think I'll agree with a lot of this book, but what I already don't agree with is the diet mindset that it's got to be this way, not this way. You want to be satisfied, you got to eat starch. Well, shit, people know you can be satisfied eating protein. You know what I mean? Like, there's lots of things, different people react differently. So I don't like that frame of it's got to be this way. It's always pitting itself against each other. And I don't think that's the way. I think the way forward is to realize that all these diets can work if they resonate with you, but it's figuring out, how do I create the diet that resonates with me, that's comfortable for me, that I want to live with forever. And I think when you start approaching it that way, you're going to end up in a much better place. Okay. But you can certainly eat lots of starchy food and still be thin. The starchy food's not really the main problem, folks. I can almost guarantee that the starchy food isn't the main problem. The main problem is your processed foods. And most people don't think, again, that diet's not really front center yet. It'll be out there at some point, some sort of anti-processed, ultra-processed. I'm sure there is one. I'm sure they're already out there, but it's not in the main thing. And you're not going to hear about it because, again, all the diets are run by the food companies. So you're not going to hear that paradigm of processed versus natural food very often, because it does not serve the food industry. Yeah. Zoya says, reading helps. I've started my master's in nutrition. The more I learn, the easier it's become to make better choices. Yes, Zoya. That is the comment of the day right there. Yes, I could not agree more with that. And I've seen that over and over again. And I will tell you, to me, that's part of, we talk about the 8 habits in the program, but the 2 bonus ones, one of them is learning. Documentaries, podcasts, books. The more you start to learn about what you're actually eating, that does a lot of the heavy lifting, because learning is programming. Do you understand? Program yourself then is about, how do we influence our mind, our mindset, to become a thin and healthy person. And the more you know, the easier it is. So yeah, hypnosis is really helpful, but so is learning new information. That might be the most helpful thing. So the more you learn and understand what you're eating, that's why, again, you take my brain, put it in anyone's body, we're going to start losing weight instantly. Not because of my willpower, but because of my knowledge. I read 50 books a year. I've been doing this for decades. I know so much about food now that it's very easy for me to make good food choices. I just tested out. I was at Disney last week. There's bullshit all around. I don't want it. The same way you don't want cigarettes. Cigarettes are all around. You don't give a shit. Right? There's all sorts of things that aren't good for you that you're not tempted by. You don't want them. Why? Because you know about them. You understand what they do to you. You think about them a certain way, and your desire for them goes way down. So Zoya, 1,000% right, that the more you understand about nutrition, food, your weight, your health, your happiness, the more you understand these, it just reveals the path forward. But most Americans are ignorant as fuck about what they're eating. No clue. Just carbs, protein. If I hear another fucking person ask me where I'm getting my protein from, where the fuck you have no idea about protein. You don't know about nutrition. Don't tell me that. You know what I mean? Like, again, I'm not blaming him. I know you've been conditioned to say that because we live in a meat eating society where there's lots of money behind eating meat. Oh, this pen keeps dropping out of my pocket. It's driving me nuts. But anyways, yes, the more you actually learn about food, I don't know if Dawn's here. Dawn's a great example of that because she reads a lot of the books that I recommend or listens to them on audio tape, either way. And I'm telling you, it's the mindset does the heavy lifting. I always say this to you guys, you're not non-smokers because you're fighting cravings all day. You're non-smokers because you don't have any cravings. Because the way you think about cigarettes are disgusting to you. You don't generate any cravings because of the way you think about them. You can do the same thing with food. I was thinking that today. I was coming over here, literally driving back to get on the podcast here, and I hear a commercial, and it's like a rock station. You know what I mean? Like kind of, I don't want to say it's not like classic rock, but it's like kind of right in the middle, kind of like 90s rock, let's just say. And they're like, it's a weird commercial. Anyways, this is what the commercial goes. It goes, oh, you know, the scientists say that eating bacon, every time you eat a piece of bacon, it takes 9 seconds off your life. And they're like, but by that calculation, I should have died in 1776. Eat more bacon. And I'm like, what a crazy fucking world we live in, you know? And it's like, and I get it. I have a sense of humor. I promise you I do. But it's like, I don't find that funny. I maybe because my dad died of a heart attack. I don't know. But it's like, it's just not funny to me. And it's one of the weird things in this society that we just so egregiously make bacon, fucking bacon. And it's like, well, all this bullshit food, weight-related issues are the number one cause of death in the country. 75% of the population's overweight or obese. I don't get the funny. I don't get it. Like, I love funny things too, but I just do not get that joke. And it's like, I don't know. It's so weird to me. You know, so we're raised by corporations. We're surrounded by these fucking corporations constantly feeding these bullshit messages. So we're just thinking upside down land, and especially with the food. It's crazy with food that you could completely erase a generation's food knowledge in one generation. You know what I mean? Like, it's crazy. Your parents ate regular food. Your grandparents ate regular food, real food. And in one generation, we've completely shifted off and erased millions of years of information from our DNA. And now we eat totally different. It's crazy. But when you have to step outside of your bubble because you're born into a bubble that just wants to keep you in there. It's a diet bubble and a food bubble. You are conditioned since birth to eat bullshit and to love it and laugh about it. So you have to intentionally step out of that bubble and step into the truth of the food you're eating. And again, reading books is a great way to do that. Listening to this, you know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of ways to do it, but you got to do it actively because you're built into you're born into a hypnotic chamber where they're trying to keep you in a trance your entire life. And never is that more obvious than the weight and the food you're eating. You know, where this bullshit food is considered nutrition and nutrients. It's not. And so the more you understand that, the easier it is to make better choices. So great point. I agree, Zoya. Elaine says you start something now any day of the week. Where did this Monday thing come from? Yeah, exactly, Elaine. Yeah, Monday's the day to start a weight loss thing for sure. And I get it. I mean, that is a real thing. Like, fresh starts is a real thing in our brains. I mean, the idea of a fresh start, whether it's a new year, a new month, whatever it may be, there is some energy to that, you know, but yeah, you can start any day. Caitlin says I had minor surgery Monday. That has thrown me off my routine. So bored. Yeah. As soon as your routine gets thrown off, you know, again, it's going to throw off your eating most likely. That's a whole other story. Let's see. Sun 1A says, how do you think of sugar as disgusting? Tips. I think of sugar as, you got to do your own research on this, but I would suggest the way that I think of sugar personally, and I'll just share this with you, is that I think of it as like the other powdery white substance that people get addicted to, that they usually put in their noses. And I think of them very similarly. They activate similar parts of your brain. They are both concentrated forms from plants, right? They both come from plants and they're concentrated down to their most powerful pieces. And they create almost instantaneous effects in us. So for me, when I think of sugar, I think of it as pretty much like the other white substance that people put up their noses and have addiction problems with. Because why? What does that do? It hypes you up, right? And I think the sugar does too. Now, you don't realize it because you created a tolerance to sugar most likely. If you live in America, if you've had a standard American diet, you're just used to eating lots of sugar. So you don't even realize the effect anymore, but it's there. So that's one way. And then the other way is just literally go on YouTube. I got to make my own video at some point. I got some cool ideas. I got some really great ideas I'm going to be putting more hypnosis video sessions out pretty quick that are going to help you with that. They'll do a lot of heavy lifting and they'll be free. Those will be free. So I will help you with that. But again, I would suggest studying what sugar does to you, because you don't know what sugar does to your body. You just have positive associations to it. So you have a logical sense that sugar is not great for me and I should stop, but your whole nervous system is addicted to it. It loves it. When you think sugar, you think all great things. You get a little buzz, it tastes sweet, reminds you of your childhood. It's all sorts of good stuff. And then you got some little, nerd voice over here. It's not good for you. You shouldn't eat that. Shut up, nerd. And then we eat it. So you got to change that around. You got to really look into what sugar actually does to you and then start paying attention. And then that starts to balance it out a little bit. And that's easier to make some forward with it. So he says, absolutely, marketing bullshit. Food is crazy. Yes. Food marketing is one of the top psychological operations on the planet. Like I said, we've completely transformed our diet in a generation. Never in the history of the world has this ever even been, nothing's ever come close to this. And it's crazy. And you wonder, literally, I get this, but if you ever look up the obesity rates in America from the early 80s till now, it's absolutely shocking. And again, we don't think of it a lot of times this way, but something happened. And that's something that happened as a combination of factors. It's ultra processed food. It is ultra marketing. And what it all comes down to, though, really, is that it coincides. The obesity epidemic literally coincides almost to the moment that the cigarette companies divested from cigarettes, because they had sat on they had fucked with us so hard with the cigarettes for so long, sitting on the science that they cause cancer and they cause all these other problems. They sat on the science side, but then all of a sudden around the 60s, 70s, it started coming out and they couldn't stop it. They knew this was going to be the thing. So they divested from cigarettes and they went into the food, literally. If you don't believe that, Nabisco and RJR Reynolds are literally merged together. They're the same company, just so you know. The parent company of Kraft and the parent company of General Foods is Philip Morris. So these cigarette companies went into food industry and they brought the exact same mindset and philosophy in there. They're going to create the most addictive product possible. They're going to use the most aggressive marketing they possibly could. And they were going to, confuse you with the science as much as they could. And here we sit. So, it's literally, you can trace it back to the moment they did it. And so it's a number of factors. It's not one thing. It's never just one thing. It's not, oh, all of a sudden this time we start eating more fat. Oh, here we start being more sedentary. Oh, it's never just one thing. It's a bunch of factors. But I think those factors can be pinpointed to the moment that all the cigarette companies went into the food industry. And then you start seeing ultra processing of foods, ultra addictive hyper palatability of foods, ultra aggressive marketing, ultra aggressive, behind the scenes affecting laws and getting this bullshit into schools and, making us fucking idiots. So, it's a number of things that are going on, but it all seems to coincide right around 1980. It's right about there, give or take a few years where all this shit exploded. And here we are. Katie says, how was Disney? We got nailed with snow and ice this weekend in Kansas City. It's been crazy. Yeah, the weather's been nuts. I know it was even cold down there a couple of days, but yeah, it was awesome. I had a super duper time. It was really, really, really fun. It was like I said, it's an active man. You really gotta lock in when you go to Disney these days. It's not like the old days where you just kind of wander around the park and stuff. It's but again, I'm not complaining. It was a blast. It was really fun. Nice to be home too, though. So what, Katie? I did miss some TikTok comments. I lost 2.5 pounds since our last call. Well, I'm so happy for you, Katie. That makes me, I'm thrilled. I'm so happy for you because now you're in the realm of the real. That's great. I'm so happy for you, Katie. Good job. That's a big deal. That's such a big deal for Katie. So, wow. That makes me very happy. Sandra says, families used to eat home-cooked meals all the time, not anymore. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Home cooking is just not the way it goes anymore. So I get that. And again, it's not, well, you have to understand too, and I think this is important because a lot of times people will beat themselves up for not cooking more. But what you have to understand is that people do what they know. people do what they do. And so if you grow up not home cooking, not knowing how to do it, not just kind of automating it, turning it to muscle memory, to just like wake up one day and say, I'm going to start home cooking is an enormous undertaking. You have to learn the logistics of it, the procurement, the preparation, the processing, the making it, the eating it, the cleaning up of it. There's a lot to it. And so that's what I'm saying. They've wiped that out in a generation. A lot of people don't have no idea how to cook for themselves. They don't know how to like do this shit because they didn't learn it, So you got to take that upon yourself. Clyde says, hi, Jim. Today's live is reminding me to the lives you made in summer 2024. I'm really enjoying this. That's awesome. Yeah, great. Yeah, that's why I'm so excited for you all. Like man, there's so much. This year is going to be bonkers. I feel like I'm kind of my real. This was such a weird year too, because usually like, obviously the first week of the year and all that, we kind of get into the new year and I like all that, but it was funny skipping the first year because I went away. But now I feel like the new year and I'm so hyped because I've got so many things coming for you all this year, all along the spectrum too, like from free to ultra paid and everything in between. And it's all going to come through the app. And so I'm so excited about this app for you. Should be ready to go in probably 5-6 weeks. I'm hoping, but, and those of you in the program right now, you'll just you'll start seeing the app. Just, it's really exciting to me. So lots of great stuff coming, really cool stuff coming. I'm glad you're enjoying it. Carol says, Jim, you're the best on this subject on earth. Just life-changing info. I listen every day. Thank you. Well, thank you, Carol. I appreciate you saying that. I really am. I really, really am. I was thinking, I was on vacation a couple of times. I was like, damn. I'm like, because I will tell you, I was inspired. I feel inspired being in Disney. I was thinking to myself, I said, shit, Walt Disney. I'm like, how do you do this? I started researching him. I'm going to get a book on him. I don't know. I was like, wow. Because, listen, you heard me talk about corporations. Listen, I'll throw stones at corporations. I think there's issues there, and Disney's top among all of them in certain ways. But on the other hand, like very few companies create such an amazing experience. And it's like, it was very inspiring for me to be there because whatever issues there may be with the company or with whatever issues people may have, it's just a high quality product. I mean, it's just a fun, amazing place. And it starts, I think that, they call them the Imagineers there, but I think, it's funny being there. I've gone there my whole life. I've gone there randomly, but it's like one place where they really do kind of think the coolest shit and then make it into reality. And I was like, you walk around, like, even like, I don't know, I was walking around like Hollywood Studios and it looks like 1950s Hollywood, but it's like, everyone's just walking around. It's like, and I know I'm not getting silly here, but it's like, it's like, why can't there be a town in a country like that? Every place is set up like, so everything just seems so hard. I don't know. I don't want to get all political, but it just feels like in America, sometimes things are just set up to be so hard with you. You know what I mean? And then you go to this place, it's just set up to be, and I know it's amusement park. I know it's set up that way, but it's like, there's just bigger ideas there that just happen because it's like the coolest shit there. And it's like, there should just be more cool shit in life, but I can't control life, but I control my app, and my app, I was very inspired by that stuff to create a really cool app, basically is what I'm trying to say. What's up, Vicky? Yeah, yep. Vicky just said that. Yep. The cigarette companies, they promoted cigarettes in unregulated countries to make up for the restrictions in the US. Absolutely. Yeah, the cigarette companies are a bunch of pieces of shit. And they're the same people that are making our food, a lot of it. So, again, it's just, in my opinion, like for-profit modes in some areas, create negative results. And so I think the food industry is one of them. So anyways, but yeah, cigarette companies are pieces of shit, and they run a lot of food. So the food companies are all pieces of shit too, in my opinion. Professor Goodjoy made caviar today. It was better on its own than any pleasure meal I've had in months. Wow. Good job. And that's how it's funny. I'll be back full on. Oh my God. I cannot wait. I can't wait to just get back to my salads and my healthy eating. I'm so fired up about it. Like, I can't even tell you. So fired up. What's up, Paula? How's it going? Nice to see you. Yeah. Oops. Laura said, what books do you recommend? Um, Boy, I mean, I could just go on and on and on about the books. The best books I think for the average person is kind of kicking into something that'll probably like shift their mindset most. I would say The End of Overeating, Salt, Sugar, Fat, Ultra Processed People, The Dorito Effect. Those are four. And there's a lot, but I think those are pretty good ones. And I think those might be the most helpful because um they kind of change your paradigm of how you think about food. And I think any book that, oh geez, right, the end of How Not to Die, that was a huge book for me too. The biggest book. I mean, that nutritionally was number one. So I always got to mention that. How Not to Die is my top book. But yeah, they changed the way you think about food. You know, I was thinking about this, like, again, with when it comes to weight loss, your issue isn't the diet, it's not your willpower, it's your mindset. Your mindset's fucked. You grew up in America, you're fucked. Like you just been, it's just like letting, what do you want? It's like having a corporate hypnotist in your head your whole life, you know, just bullshitting you. And so you got to snap out of that trance, and you need to do it. You need to take it on. That's another thing I was realizing. I'm like, you got to commit to this. You know what I mean? Like I really started to realize that it's like, I had someone, I'll tell you, I had someone write to me on their vacation. I got to process this, but I tried the program and it didn't curb my appetite. So I want a refund. And it's like, I'm happy to give them the refund, but I also know they didn't use the program, you know, because how much, you can't just listen to hypnosis, just curbs your appetite. That's it. I mean, you got to stop living in fucking fantasy land. You got to take this on as a serious thing. And it feels so good to just be able to say that. Because, you know, the whole diet industry is built around bullshitting you that there's some easy fucking fix to this big ass problem you got. And there's not. You know, is there any simple fix to gambling addiction? Is there any simple fix to having a substance abuse problem? Is there? No. And the more you look for some simple fix, the longer you're going to languish and get shitty results. So you got to take things on. You know, that's what I realized. Like, I was like, you know, I took this on seriously. Things that matter in my life, I take on seriously. And I feel like a lot of dieters are just fucking around. You feel like you're taking on seriously too. So I'm not picking on you. I don't mean to say it like that, but the diet, the idea that I'm just going to give you a plan and then send you on your way and you're going to succeed is bullshit. Bullshit. You've got to start, you need to have some tools to be able to understand your mindset. You need to be able to understand where your issues are. You need to understand yourself. You need to understand that eating this food triggers my cravings and my hunger. Eating this way, living this way minimizes it. You got to understand yourself. You need to understand the relationship between yourself, your mindset, your lifestyle, and your eating. And it's a forever process, because don't you want to be thin and healthy forever? And, you know, it's funny. I was thinking when I went to Disney that I was really thinking it at Disney that because going there I was very focused on my functionality, because most people think about their weight loss in terms of they're going to look different, but you're not thinking about it in terms of how you're going to feel and live differently. Like, I enjoy Disney more because I'm thin and healthy. You know what I mean? Like I can walk more. I was walking 20 to 30,000 steps a day. If you're not healthy, if you're overweight, you can't do that. Fucking body's killing you. You know? So it's like this. I always say this is about quality of life. And then that's just one little example, you know, but it's like, it's not how you fucking look. Like, that's not the thing that's going to change your life most. It's how you feel. It's how long you're going to live. It's how you're able to move. It's how comfortable you are. That's what matters. And I think, you know, once you realize that that's what we're talking about here, then you start to approach it more seriously. And I think the idea that you just want to lose 20 pounds as quick as you can, that's just, I don't know. Kara says, since indulging in more food over December and January, definitely finding the pull towards that more. Yeah, exactly. Absolutely. I feel it too. You know, I feel it, but that's why I say, as I always think of it as a transition period. I'm starting it. I'm right now. I'm already in it. You know, the second I landed, I was like transitioning back into my normal way, but it's a transition. It's not this fucking dumb diet stuff that one day I'm just going to completely change everything. I have a strategic plan. I was really thinking about that a lot of the plane ride just now. I was like, I got like, program yourself thin. There's a weight mastery pyramid. There's 6 categories in mindset, 8 habits and lifestyle, and there's 3 categories of eating like a thin and healthy person. And it's like they're all laid out and stuff, but that's what you're following. What are you following as a dieter? What? I'm not going to eat carbs? What does that mean? What does that mean long term? And it's a funny time of year because I was sent one of those emails like, what diet did you start last year? What diet you starting this year? What diet you're going to start next year? Like, you got to wake up and realize you keep repeating the exact same cycle over and over. And it's because you think like a dieter. You've been brainwashed. You've been hypnotized by these diet companies. And so, you got to step out of it and realize this is your literal life, not just as long as you live, but it's literally the quality of your life is dictated by your mindset, your lifestyle, and your eating, and ultimately your weight, in my opinion. So, but yeah, once you start eating the bullshit, it does have a pull to it for sure. But healthy stuff has a pull to it too, and that's why, again, I slowly start, inching my way back over my normal routine. And I want to too, because it is that pull. I want to feel great again, This says missing nutrients. I have a few things I'm trying to heal. A lot of people are missing nutrients. I'll tell you that though. I would say that's one of the biggest, and you never even hear that framing. I think that, again, the secret to a thin and healthy diet is nutrient density and nutrient variety. I think that's the secret at the end of the day, is getting lots of different nutrients into your body. And I think if you make that your primary kind of paradigm that you're choosing food through, I think you'll be in a pretty good spot, but that's kind of the key thing. All right, I'm gonna get out of here. I want to pop on, say hi to everyone, and let y'all know I'm back, ready to go. If you're in the program and you've messaged me and I haven't got, give me a day or two, or send me a second email, and I'll help that. I'll fix it. Keep an eye on the app. Everything is kind of getting kicking along. Keep an eye on your email if you're planning on. Well, there are some programs. I'll email you. So if you're not in my world, go to my bio, click the link at the hypnosis session. It'll be on my email list and I'll send you those. And the rest of you that are already on my email and already in the things, keep an eye on your inbox because there's information coming out for however you want to proceed future, those options there. And then we'll start kicking it hard next Monday. It's kind of the kickoff of the new year in our world here, right? We kind of kick it all off. So, all right, everyone. And great job, Katie. I'm proud of you. That's awesome that you did that. So, all right, everyone, have a super day and we'll talk soon. Bye.